It started as a perfect weekend. 4 friends, Mike, Emily, Jason, and Rachel, packed into a single car, laughing and joking as they drove deep into the heart of the silent forest. The winding road seemed to stretch endlessly, flanked by towering trees that grew thicker with every mile. There was something off about the silence here, but none of them paid it much attention. It was just a forest, peaceful, serene, nothing to worry about. The first day was uneventful, setting up camp, swimming in the lake, and sitting around the fire as the sky darkened. But as the night settled in, the air shifted. The warmth of the day faded quickly, replaced by a cold, biting wind that whispered through the trees. At first, it seemed like nothing, just the wind. But then they started to hear it. Low, indistinct voices, drifting from the forest beyond their campsite. Mike dismissed it, said it was probably just animals or distant campers, but the others weren't so sure. Emily thought she saw movement in the trees' shadows that darted just beyond the reach of their firelight. Jason, ever the skeptic, laughed it off. "We're in the middle of nowhere," he said. "There's no one else out here." Yet the feeling of being watched lingered, and they all felt it, though none would say it aloud. On the second night, things grew worse. Emily woke to find strange markings carved into the trees near their tents, symbols, ancient-looking, twisting and spiraling in ways that made her skin crawl. She showed them to the group, but no one could explain how they got there. That night, the whispers returned, louder now, and this time there were footsteps, slow, deliberate, circling their camp as if something unseen was watching, waiting. The fear was palpable, but still, they convinced themselves to stay. "It's just the wilderness," Jason insisted. "Nothing's going to happen." Yet, by the time the sun rose on the third morning, none of them could shake the creeping dread that had taken hold. The forest felt different, alive somehow. But daylight brought with it a false sense of security. The birds were singing, the sky was clear, and the horrors of the night before seemed distant and unreal. They packed their things, relieved to be leaving, laughing at how foolish they'd been to let their imaginations get the best of them. They started the hike back to their car, eager to leave the strange forest behind. The path seemed longer this time, the trees towering higher, their branches casting deep, twisting shadows on the ground. But soon, the clearing came into view. Their car sat just ahead, a beacon of safety at the edge of the woods. They were almost there. Then, just as they were about to step out of the forest, the whispers returned louder than ever, wrapping around them like a cold wind. They froze, their breaths catching in their throats. The trees began to sway unnaturally, as if something within the forest was stirring. And then, it happened. The ground beneath them shifted, and the forest itself seemed to come alive. Branches reached down like twisted fingers. The air thickened, choking, suffocating. Before any of them could scream, it was too late. One by one they were dragged into the shadows, their bodies vanishing into the earth, their terrified cries swallowed by the trees. Silence fell once more, and the forest returned to its still, tranquil state, as if nothing had ever happened. Now it waits silent, still, hungry for the next souls who wander too far.